Hello, I'm Edwin Watson.
And I'm Evona Watson, and we're the co-owners of E Realty and Property Management. We are here at the Indiana Blacks Expo Summer Celebration, talking to the people about debunking the myths of homeownership, talking to potential buyers and sellers who might be interested in a real estate transaction in the future.
I am Edwin Watson with E Realty and Property Management here with
Tyson Mangrum.
Tyson. Are you a homeowner?
Yes, sir, I am.
Tyson, what would you say is one of the most important things about being a homeowner?
Well, for me, the most important thing was to look at my home as an investment, right? So for me, I wanted to make sure, because I rented when I first started, right? I lived in DC and I rented, and I didn't build any equity in my home ownership. So when I moved back to Indiana, the first thing I wanted to do was make sure I was able to build some equity in my home. So I bought a home.
Okay. How did you go about selecting a realtor when you came here to Indianapolis? How did you find your realtor?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went through an interview process, right? So for me, it was important to make sure that there was a connection, right? Because what I found out from other friends is that they had the wrong realtor, which led to the wrong property, right? So I interviewed. So I had an interview panel, make sure I interviewed them, and found a person that I felt was a great fit for me and my wife.
Okay. As far as renting and becoming an investor, have you ever thought about becoming an investor?
Absolutely, I have. But there's some fears for me, right? Because there's always cash on hand, right? So a lot of the times when you've saved up your money to kind of give that money to a real estate and investment it's a bit scary because you don't know about the appreciation of the real estate that you're going to purchase. So
absolutely, I would definitely say becoming a first investor can be a bit scary that very first time. So as far as, are you familiar with lenders who offer those type of assistance and realtors to guide you down the right path for being an investor?
Actually, I am not. And one of the reasons is just I kind of wanted to do it on my own. And that's probably part of the fear, too, is like, I really don't know what I'm doing, right? So I have not. And I did not know there were realtors out there that
absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely. So there's definitely realtors out there like E Realty and Property Management that specialize in investors who are trying to get into the market, where we counsel investors on making the right choices, how to purchase the right investments for the return on investment is the appropriate investment. So I would say definitely reach out.
I will.
We would love to sit down with you and give you a consultation on how to become an investor, and that's something we could do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. So I'll make sure I get your card after this interview.
And I'm here with
Chantel Morrow.
Chantel, we are out here in the streets debunking the myths of homeownership and getting insight from actual homeowners. Are you a homeowner?
Not yet, but I am certainly looking to be one in the next year or so.
Awesome. So what have been some of the challenges that you face with making that move to become a homeowner?
Well, as you know, the market's been crazy for the last couple of years. I relocated from the South, wanting to get back to Indiana. I'm from Northwest Indiana. Indianapolis is a great city. They have my favorite types of homes, mid-century modern, but that also seems to coincide the popularity of mid-century modern with just the market, and it's been bananas. So for me, finding a home in the right area at the right price has certainly been the challenge.
So how, as you are waiting for that opportunity, how are you preparing yourself to become a homeowner?
So I'm still just watching the market every day, keeping my financials straight, and, reading articles, talking to all my real estate friends.
And how do you plan to go about selecting your real estate agent?
Well, I think that's a loaded question. Nikki was, when I was in the market, Evona, was my agent, and we are longtime family friends. So for me, it was about finding someone that I was close to, and then she's been here for so long.
And there's people that I don't have that connection, like I've been knowing them for years. But one thing that I like to say is, I'm there. I'm going to be patient with the process because we're going on year and a half, 2 years.
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I moved in May of 21.
Right. So it's not always going to happen as soon as we meet or as soon as you wake up and decide you want to be a homeowner. But what I can say is I am going to stick around until it happens for you. So if it takes 3 years, if it takes 5 years, we're going to have a picture at the closing table.
And I have a lot of patience. So because this will probably be my forever home, buying a home at this young age.
Right.
So So I'm good with waiting and getting what I want.
Awesome. Yeah, we good.
This is I am Edwin Watson with Triple E Realty and Property Management here with
Leroy Lewis III.
Leroy Lewis III. Are you a homeowner?
I am, yes.
Leroy, what would you say one of the most important aspects about being a homeowner?
The freedom to have your own. I think that is one of the things that our renters and those that don't have their own home kind of lack, or they wish they did. They can have the freedom to do whatever they want with their own property.
So when you purchase your house, how did you go about selecting your realtor?
Actually, it was a friend. It was a personal connection. It was somebody that I knew. The relationship that we had made me trust them. So I think that was probably the driving force of me choosing them.
Now, how did you choose the side of town that you lived on as far as the house?
Well, that was pretty interesting. My wife is in politics, so we're kind of landlocked. So we had to be in a certain area.
Okay. So during the entire home buying process, was there anything that right before or during the process that came up unexpected that you was like, oh man?
I think the understanding of what the inspection comes with and what happens with the inspection and the opportunities that come with whatever the inspection comes out of the inspection was really, it helped me out because I was able to negotiate a little bit differently from that inspection. But I think that's probably something that's caught me off guard a little bit.
Now, as far as you've owned your own home for a while now, I would imagine. Have you ever thought about selling your house?
Yes, I have, but my wife said this is the last one we're getting, so I don't know that we'll be able to do so. Real estate investment is things that I think you guys are doing as well, because I kind of knew about you. I heard about you guys a couple of times, so that's something that I want to look into in the future as well.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. Interesting to say that. So what is keeping you from becoming an investor today?
Just time, the opportunity to research properties and size of town and those type of things that go into making a wise investment.
Interesting that you say that. So the good thing about Triple E Realty and Property Management, we specialize in finding houses, renovating houses, finding tenants, as well as managing the tenants. So kind of like a one-stop shop. So would you be interested in potentially us sending you some information on that?
I need that information. Definitely send it over to me.
Well,
Hello, I'm Evona with Triple E Realty, and I'm here with
Starla K. Mathis.
Starla. We are out here talking to people. 3E TV is out in the streets today at Indiana Black Expo, and we're asking individuals about home ownership. Are you a homeowner?
I am. I'm a proud homeowner of, I believe it's about 8 years now.
So tell us a little bit about your journey. Were there things that you were nervous about? What was your process like?
So I think how old was I? I was in my right before 30. I was about 27 when we bought our home. My husband and I did not know we could buy a home. Like I'm thinking we're gonna be renting. Like you buy a home in your 30s, but to buy it before our 30s was amazing, you know. And we had an amazing agent, Evona here, and Evona walked us through each step, which I didn't know. I was like, how do you pay your agent? How much does that cost? And I realized that, oh no, that comes out in closing costs and different things like that. So I ended up learning so much where I'm like, maybe I could be a real estate agent, like a wealth of knowledge. So that was a lot of things that I learned, and I didn't know how easy accessible it was to buy a home. I thought it was definitely like out of reach, but I learned that it can be obtainable.
And I think that is a good point to make because a lot of people think homeownership is not a pathway for them. And especially in our community, being a homeowner, sometimes people think it's just out of reach. But there's so many programs and grants out there to help educate potential home buyers. What do you love most about your home?
It feels like home. I remember you telling me this, and I think about it every Christmas because we fell in love. Our home had this beautiful fireplace, and you said if you can see yourself here around Christmas, and I'm like, it felt like Christmas, and that's how I knew it was our home. We have so much space. I love how convenient it is to like the interstate, and it's just like the perfect lot for us.
Now, was it a challenge finding a home? Because I think sometimes people think that first home has to be that forever home. How did you decide this is the one?
Yeah, well, I knew I had to have bedrooms, enough bathrooms. It wasn't hard for us to find a home, but I remember I was up all night looking and like, Evona, I see this. I want to go look at this. But making sure there was something in our budget. I definitely want to make sure it was something we can obtain as being an entrepreneur. I wanted something I can manage, for a lifetime. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, these are just some of the reasons that being a homeowner is amazing. If you have any questions about home ownership, feel free to go to our website, tripleerealty.com, fill out a contact us form, and we will make an appointment to speak with you individually. Take care. So I talked to a lot of people today.
Hey, I talked to a ton of people today.
Would you say you talked to more buyers or renters?
You know, I would say it's been a mixed bag. So I've talked to quite a few sellers and owners looking to potentially sell their houses in the future, and some that are just really comfortable in their spot that they're in now.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that a lot of people we spoke to were already homeowners. I spoke to, and I think you did too, individuals who just recently went through the home ownership process, which is a good thing because a lot of people think, oh, it's not a good time to buy a home, and people are actually buying homes right now. What was your takeaway in the people you talked to?
Similar to yours. So we got people who are maybe interested and a little bit scared about what's the next steps. And I was glad we were able to communicate to them exactly what they can do to work their way toward becoming a homeowner.
So if you are interested in being a homeowner or selling your home, you can log on to tripleerealty.com and sign up for the 10 mistakes to avoid as a home buyer, the 10 mistakes to avoid as a seller, and the 10 mistakes to avoid as an investor.